Hello and welcome to my science podcast video. This is my review activity for my 8th grade science class. So our first topic today will be tectonic plates. How do the processes taking place at and below the lithosphere allow the Earth to maintain geological equilibrium? So the two layers that we're going to be talking about here are the lithosphere and the asthenosphere, and maybe a little bit of the core. So the geological equilibrium is where the planet is in a state of equalness, even though that's not a word. There are two types of crust, continental and oceanic. Oceanic is denser and continental is less dense. So these two plates are colliding, generating new areas, and other plates are subducting, so the Earth's size never really changes. It's kept in a state of equilibrium. Now, next we're going to be talking about plate boundaries. So there are three types of boundaries: divergent boundaries, transform boundaries, and last of all, convergent boundaries. Divergent boundaries are where they are moving apart, the two plates or the three plates. The convergent boundaries are where the plates are moving together, and transform are where they're sliding against each other. Now, some features that can occur when these are, moved together are rift valleys, earthquakes, mid-oceanic ridges, trenches, volcanoes, volcanic arcs, island arcs, yet again earthquakes, volcanoes, non-volcanic mountains and volcanic mountains. Earthquakes typically happen more on transform boundaries, like the San Andreas Fault. World examples of these features would be the Mid-Atlantic Oceanic Ridge, the Andes Mountains, Japan, Indonesia, Mount Everest, and what features form along these boundaries, how these features form, what are some world examples of each type of feature. So we answered most of those questions, but there is one thing that we have to add. These world features, I'll just say, don't just randomly happen. See, transform boundaries are more likely to cause earthquakes because they don't have any space where magma or lava can flow up. Now, things like volcanoes are generated when convergent plates move together and they push up land or ocean crust. And things like rift valleys or trenches happen when two plates move apart. Now, how do different plate boundaries behave? So there are really two types of boundaries. There can be a transform, or there can be a transform. There can be three, sorry. A transform, and a divergent. A convergent, divergent, transform. A convergent, or a lot of other mix and matches. But the one thing that can't happen is a transform. There cannot be three transforms colliding with each other. So the next topic here would be how these behave. See, these depend all on the size of the plates. So as you'll see, as you will have already seen from the first picture I have, there are different types of plates and different sizes. That is all dependent. This is my review activity. I'm Tom Moreno. Thank you for listening to my science podcast.